hit that subscribe button and the bell icon beside it to check out our latest videos before anyone else. Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is the camera comparison between the OPPO F7 and the Vivo V7. By the way, this video is being recorded using the F7 and the audio is from the phone itself. Now let's check out the specs. On the rear, OPPO F7 sports a single 16 megapixel camera with f1.8 aperture. On the front, it has a 25 megapixel camera with Sony IMX576 sensor with f2.0 aperture. On the rear, Vivo V7 sports a single 16 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture, and on the front, it has a 24 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture and a dedicated soft flash. Now these are some sample shots. Both phones come with a single camera on the rear and support auto HDR. So all these pictures were taken with the auto HDR mode. Even while taking pictures in HDR mode, capturing speeds on OPPO are much faster. On Vivo, it takes like a second to capture the shot. So throughout that time, you need to hold your phone very steadily, which might be hard if your hands shake a lot. HDR mode works really well on OPPO. Just look at the difference in colors and the sky. OPPO is over-processing the image, so the images won't look natural, but they still look more pleasing. The best thing about OPPO is definitely its capturing speeds. Images from Vivo look more natural, but images from OPPO look more pleasing. So you can pick the best one based on your preference. These are some macro shots and I didn't have any issues with focusing on both phones. Focusing speeds are good and you get good bokeh effect on both phones. For rear cameras, you can pick the best one based on your preference, but I'll pick OPPO as the winner. Now coming to portrait mode, both phones come with a single camera on the rear and uses some software processing to add that blur effect. Edge detection isn't perfect on both phones, but it is slightly better on OPPO. On OPPO, we can also use HDR mode while taking portrait shots, so dynamic range is pretty good on OPPO's images. Even with a bright background, you get pretty clean shots on OPPO. Sometimes OPPO messes things up, but most of the time, OPPO does a better job with exposure control, skin tones and dynamic range. Now coming to low light performance, these are some sample shots. Even in low lighting conditions, capturing speeds are faster on OPPO. Both phones overexpose the shot to make the image look bright, but Vivo does it a bit more and loses details. Colors on Vivo look faded and lacks sharpness. On OPPO, they look more vivid and punchy, and it has better sharpness too. So in low lighting conditions, OPPO definitely does a better job. Now coming to selfies, these are some sample shots taken on both phones with auto HDR. Once again, HDR mode works way better on OPPO F7. You get cleaner images even in very harsh lighting conditions with good dynamic range. Even the skin tones and color reproduction are better on OPPO. Both phones come with wide angle lens on the front, but OPPO has a much wider lens, so you get much wider selfies on OPPO than on V7. So on the whole, for selfies, OPPO F7 is definitely the winner. Now coming to portrait selfies, both phones offer this feature, which is more like an extension of the front camera. So once again, OPPO F7 does a better job. Edge detection and background blur effect is equally good on both phones, but color reproduction and skin tones look much better on OPPO. Once again, capturing speeds are much faster on OPPO, which gives us a much better user experience. Now these are some selfies taken in low light indoor conditions. Selfies are soft on both phones and both do a pretty good job. Now these are some selfies taken in very low light outdoor conditions. In low lighting conditions, OPPO uses the display flash and Vivo uses the dedicated torch. Capturing speeds are slow on both phones, but it's comparatively better on OPPO. Once again, all these pictures were taken with auto HDR. If you disable it, OPPO will take better selfies. But with auto HDR, Vivo did a better job here. Now coming to video recording, here's the sample footage. So guys, this is the footage recorded using the OPPO F7 and the Vivo V7. On the left side I have the F7 and on the right side I have the V7. Audio is from the phone itself, so you can check out the noise cancellation and stabilization offered by both phones. Both phones can record video at a maximum of 1080p resolution and there is no stabilization on both phones, so the footage is very shaky. Now coming to the footage itself, footage looks better on OPPO. On Vivo, colors are to the warmer side and pop out a lot.
On OPPO, footage has good dynamic range and colors look more natural. Now this is the footage from the front-facing camera.
So guys, this is the footage recorded using the OPPO F7 and the Vivo V7. I have the F7 on the left side and the Vivo V7 on the right side, and I am currently recording this video at 1080p resolution. Audio is from the phone itself once again, so you can check out the noise cancellation from both phones and the stabilization as well.
Once again, both phones can record video at a maximum of 1080p and there is no stabilization on both phones. Just like with the selfies, you get a wider footage on OPPO, which gives you space for more details. Footage on Vivo looks a bit overexposed, while OPPO has good exposure control and better dynamic range. So for front camera video recording, once again I'll pick OPPO as the winner. So guys, to conclude, cameras on OPPO F7 are definitely better than Vivo V7 in each and every aspect. So guys, looking at the sample pictures and the sample footage, what's your take on the cameras on these phones? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more cool videos on tech. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.